Hello and welcome back to Rule the Waves 3, playing as Japan on Super Large plus starting 1890. We have made it to 1927. This is episode 55 and it's the first brand new episode that I have recorded in quite some time. Okay, explain at the end of the previous episode. But I'm ready to proceed now, so this should be fun, I think. See, my camera is glitching a little bit. Why isn't it removing my chair? Not important. Anyway, we'll start with the start of year review. Then we'll proceed with our war against Russia and the US with our good friends, the British. So I think that's enough talk. So let's move over to the start of year review. Yes, here we are, Rule the Waves 3. And you should be able to move on. Yes, 1927 analysis. Not a lot has changed since the last review, except point 2 here. We are now no longer just co-belligerent with Great Britain. They did, as so often happens, offer an alliance based on a common enemy. They were already in a war, but not allied to me, and then very often you get this offer to make common cause. So yeah, you can see stuff here, and they are not only at war with one of my opponents, they are at war with both, so that's good. Now we have 2 versus 2, so that's very nice. Yeah, the war has lasted 22 months. It obviously started with rather abruptly, I would say, but not without some provocation from my side. I did not take the opportunity to de-escalate anything. I just pushed it up. I quite welcomed the war, really. So, yeah. And I also knew that it was virtually guaranteed that the US would join, and it took about 10 months. So for all of 1926, we have been fighting to people. I don't exactly remember when Great Britain joined, but it was sometime during 1926. Yeah, obviously the AA alliance, Russia and US continues. They won't break the alliance during a war. Tensions between Spain and US is still high-ish in yellow, but new is Nazi Germany also dislikes Russia. I don't think anything will come of this. It's very rare for World War to erupt. Usually the AI just likes to look. I think we had one instance with very high tension, like 20 plus, where nothing happened. Yeah, that's often the case when there is no ongoing war. Even if tension is very high, nothing could happen. Or stuff like Great Britain suddenly declaring war on one of my enemies, despite tensions not being that high, can also happen. So it's definitely a bit of randomness there. No real government changes. I'm just listing the 2 only countries to have switched ruler style thus far: Nazi Germany and Communist Russia. No changes on the stolen tech front, I think. No, because the quality 5 plus 1 5-inch gun was listed last briefing. So yeah. I hope I'm not missing anything. No, I think that's correct. Yeah, I keep overall high intelligence. Nothing new there, because there are many benefits to it and the cost isn't that high. My doc's still leading, but Great Britain is catching up and I've become complacent. Shipyards are technically okay, but I will look at that once we get into things. But I have no idea what I've been doing for the past few years. I think I've completely lost focus. I think that sudden Germany war, that really took me out of my flow. I had not planned for it, and sort of fought the war with my mind only in the present, I stopped looking ahead. And that sort of spiraled, not out of control, but it snowballed. So I'm still at the point where I have, it looks like I have no plan for the future. So we'll have to remedy that. But I mean, I can build new ships, but I have 4 big ships that coming up out next month. And after that, nothing, literally nothing. I have no updated design. I have no build plans. I read through my own PowerPoints, and I obviously had plans at some times, but I just stopped executing them. It's it's quite. When last I played, things were obvious, but clearly I was blinded to something, and now coming back into it, I am perplexed. Actually, what was I thinking? And clearly I wasn't thinking, but that's the problem. So we need to, yeah, we need to get things going again. Budget, nah, but this is sad. This is horrendous. Base resource growth is okay. 778, not as good as last year, but still okay. Budget modifier. It remains at 18. And that's after yet another full war of fighting against superior opponents. Russia has a budget modder of 25. I had 26 listed for last year, so I guess they dropped 1 then. I'm not sure why, but or maybe I just estimated 26, but 20, I mean, and Great Britain is 29. I get that because they have this special rule that lets them recover more quickly if they are being outspent or have a small navy. But basically everyone has a higher budget modifier than me. And this seems to be a theme in the game all the fucking time. So despite having decent-ish growth, my budget is up from a lousy 735 to 749, and it makes me cry. I've done everything I can. This is the one thing that I have tried. I've done everything I can to reduce my maintenance so I can at least have some construction. So the ratio here is horrible, but less horrible than last year. But my funds keep dropping. So even once those 4 big ships finish building, and I can't build quite as much. So this isn't long-term viable, I would say. So it makes me a little bit annoyed. I know it's a game and stuff, but I prefer games where the rules for the player and the AI are mostly the same. But I guess the AI needs whatever help it can get. Yeah. So, parenthesis there. Yeah, economy, very good if you look at base resources and colonies. Only US is bigger, and only US is growing faster than us. That's a good sign. But when you look at budget, we are only ahead of France and Italy, Spain and China we don't talk about. But Germany, slightly smaller economy, bigger budget. Great Britain, much smaller economy, way bigger budget. Russia, pathetic economy, but same budget. So, yeah. Fleet size, really feeling my size here. And that size means all my ships are active. I don't have anything in reserve or mothball. I can't really afford that in case the US actually comes to fight. Then I need everything. This is not a lot. I don't really have any carrier fleet. I have those 2 small light carriers that we build. I need to build large carriers. We have that ability now. It's hard to make them good at present, but we'll need to get started. No one else has good big fleet carriers anyway. The US has built a couple, but yeah. Which are, if this is true, they are bigger than I can build my purpose-built one, so then they will have to be converted, or this number isn't correct. I was thinking about also building heavy cruisers, but that is a fairy tale. That's a fantasy. It's not happening, not at this point. I also had that final protected cruiser design and was feeling cute with a 9-inch gun. And haha, let's build it sort of like a bridge between the old and the new. And I was feeling quite cocky there. No money, so I do have triple turrets, so maybe we will have to just start building them or completely redesign our light cruisers. I looked over the destroyer collection. It looks like we have a ton of destroyers, but remember those are also our minesweepers and trade protection ships, and we don't actually have that many modern destroyers. And we haven't built a single 2,000 tonner. We're down to 5 subs actually. That's I didn't even notice. So again, what was I thinking? I talked about it at last episode that when the thing happened where I lost those months because I hadn't been recording, I considered going back several years since I had to go back more than a year and a half anyway, because I felt that I had lost focus and wasn't really playing at the top of my game. But yeah, I guess that happens. I was blinded. I was just grinding those turns, playing, chasing something. I'm not sure what, but yeah. Research was decent. Not as good as the previous year, but that was an insane amount of X. This is good. So we'll keep it at 12. Still no oxygen torpedoes, but we're getting closer. Machinery +1, armor +1, but we got the advanced director. That's important. And we have deck reloads for torpedoes, also important for destroyers. Now we can easily have 2,000-ton destroyers with 2 quads and reloads, for example, and soon we get oxygen torpedoes. Then we're talking. Have some torp tech, ASV tech, unlocked carrier force, it says. Is that actually true? I think that may be an artifact of... yeah, I think that is incorrect. I think that should... yeah, that's the same. Okay, this is correct. But we did get an early AA director, so we can put that on ships. Air, heavier than air, yes. But nothing on catapults, and large aircraft carrier was unlocked turn before. But we do now have quality -1 20-inch guns. I don't think I'll be going for those quite yet. It could be fun, but I think the only gun type that we miss is the 19-inch and probably the 13-inch, but that's irrelevant at this stage. Nothing really changed here. I'm not really happy with any of my ships, but I have a very small air force and not many carriers anyway. Let's not focus too much on that. But going forward, I will need to be more focused with my aircraft development and have a plan for that. So yeah. So let's jump in, as they say. Yes, we have a lot of ground to cover. Lots of stuff has been neglected, and we need to get back on top of things, back into the game, stop pushing things ahead of us, not dealing with it. No, I figure first of all is research. I've taken a look at the research here, and well, based on the date certain techs arrive and how far advanced we are, and also just generally how what should I say, I have a spreadsheet with all the text. That's very useful. I've uploaded it to the same folder as the ship designs and PowerPoint presentations. I was sure it was in there, but apparently I had that one saved on my main, not my gaming account, but my main account for some reason, so I moved it over. You can look at it there. I have even color coded some stuff that I think, stuff I consider key and not so key technologies. But anyway, the the mid-20s, 30s, late 20s, I would say. And going forward into the 30s, we have a lot of exciting engine techs that will reduce engine weights by a massive 2%. Well, 2% doesn't sound like much, but earlier engine techs are -1%, and now we get like 4, or is it 5? 4, I think. Yeah, 5 actually. Yeah. So that will massively reduce the weight of engines. Armor, I think, is important in this stage. It's still guns and armor-piercing ammunition, so let's keep that one up. Plus, you can never retrofit armor here, so yeah, it makes sense to, if we are building good battleships, to have the best armor. Hull is not as important, it's not as heavy, and the weight savings aren't as great, so let's keep that on medium. We just got the advanced director, and the only thing that's coming up soon is sort of secondary director for light cruisers, but I don't have light cruisers with meaningful secondary batteries anyway, so yeah, not really a priority. We have some older protected cruisers, but no. Just got TPS 3, so let's take this one down to medium. It's a while until we get TPS 4, and other damage control tech can be retrofitted. Turrets, not a lot of exciting turrets coming now, so we're down to medium. Ship design is always worthwhile. Heavy shells, yeah, AP, that's mostly a date thing, I would say, plus it's retroactively added. We have most stuff. We're still waiting for the oxygen torpedoes, but there will be along. These other things are not something that we need to bother with, or it can be added retroactively, or it has it's date gated. Still a lot of work to do on AA artillery, Zeppelins. Naval aviation, we are closing in on 1930, so I bumped that back up to high. This one has been high. This one is back to low. Naval guns, I mean, we can go high for a little while. Yes, 13-inch. We will never get anything better than -2, I guess, unless we steal it. So, you are getting quite a few quality 1 guns. 4-inch, 5-inch. Sadly, I didn't get to use my 9-inch guns on that light cruiser. We'll look at that, but maybe we will build some heavy cruisers with 9-inch guns. It could happen. I'm not saying we will do it, but I'm not saying we won't. We also have these 11-inch quality one that I kind of want to use, but I don't know. So, that's research. Next up is thinking about ships, and yeah, we can look at our classes here, but we have quite a few battleships now, 12, and we have 2 more coming out next turn. That is good, but we only have 2 plus 2 with 16-inch guns. The other 10 are 14-inch guns ships that are also relatively slow. So, I mean, after we get those engine techs, we could give them oil and push them up in speed because they are coal-fired. I mean, technically, if we do this, we can boost them up. And this is not a problem to recuperate if we get those lighter engines. So we could, but by the time that happens, I'm not so sure these 14-inch ships are really competitive, so we might end up not doing that at all. We also have these guys, some sort of the same problem, I would say, but well, in this case, I would say the problem is perhaps even greater, because even if we push them to 30, we push them to 31, but no, hull form, nasty game. Kind of hard to imagine a 30-knot battlecruiser being competitive in the long run, but we'll see. These are definitely not going to be competitive. Our 8 legacy cruisers, or light cruisers, I should say. But I mean, compared to some of the stuff the AI has, it's not so bad. But for playing at super large plus, we certainly do not have too many ships. And a quick glance at Almanac does, underline that point. You can see that we have fewer ships than nations with smaller fleets than us. If you look at Russia, with we sunk some Russian ships, but they are pretty comparable. They are a few 100,000 tons less than us, but overall they have more ships of almost every class. Every class, excluding DDs, but we have about, I don't think we have fully 100 combat capable DDs. The rest are trade protection, minesweepers, that sort of thing. So let's look at classes here. 2 light cruisers and 8 2 light carriers, 8 light cruisers that are slow and outdated, but that's the way it is. 8. And but soon we will have 8 fast battle cruisers. That's good, or fast-ish. We will have 4 fast 16-inch battleships, and we will have 10 slower 14-inch. But at least they have 10 14-inch guns, so it's not bad. So how many we have? We have 79. That's the real number of destroyers that we have that are combat ships and non-active. Then we have all of these guys. Trade protection. Not sure why these aren't minesweepers. Oh. Probably just never got around to doing it. It's definitely possible. Probably just never did it. Okay, yeah. Or didn't want to. So we have, now we probably have enough minesweepers. That's the thing. We have 35 minesweepers plus 19. Well, we can never have too many minesweepers, I suppose. Yeah. And we have these that are just pure anti-sub hunters. We are down to just 8 colonial cruisers. And in my fantasy, I had imagined those being fancy light cruisers with colonial fittings. I'm not sure. I'm just mixing that up with some previous game. The last one was built in 1908. So another area we have neglected. So what have I been up to? That's a good question. So we will now look at some designs, because once these clear, we will have saved 13, 23, 24,500. So it will be 20,000 in the plus. So we can actually build something. And we have a lot of stuff that we can build. So we will absolutely do some design work before long. Then we need to take into account enemy movement, and the enemy does have a little stack here. So, and I have a huge stack here, so I could consider sending some of my ships down south, but probably there is movement. Either they are going to Northeast Asia or they are moving away, so it might not matter. But since we do have a few thousand funds left, and these are finished next month, I think we should absolutely go look at some designs. And if we take a quick look at the Almanac first and consider our peer opponents, that would primarily be US and Germany, also Great Britain, of course. The others are not as interesting. I mean, Italy, Russia, France, they are not horrible, but they are not as good. You can see that none of these battleships are fast. So 26 under construction. That sounds odd. Yeah. This is about the fastest battleship, non-Japanese battleship on the planet. So if we continue building 26 inch 26 knot battleships, that's quite okay actually. It's not bad. So we could just continue doing that. And I've tried looking at some design and pushing the speeds up to 27 and 28, but that's it's not really viable. And I mean, that's the fastest one. It will be a long time before the AI is rid of these 24, 25, 23, even these 21 knot ships. And it's not as bad, but almost as bad in other nations. For instance, Britain is clearly building at 25 knots now. And since I sank all their old battleships, they don't have very many fired old battleships left. But the Germans, you can see, have a plenty of those 21 knotters. Even the Russians have some left. The French also. But yeah, so 25 I think is the fastest battleship on the planet that isn't Japanese. When it comes to battle cruisers, the story is a little bit different because we have a lot of old generation, but you can see 31 knots. That's starting to get very fast. It has no armor or no guns, but still. But more importantly, you can see that the Americans, they have 8 15-inch guns and 31 knots and a decent-ish belt. So definitely our battle cruisers must have 16-inch guns and 31 knots of speed and armor that can withstand 14-inch shells at the very least, preferably 15-inch shells at some distance. And this is a heavy cruiser, so that's not the one I was looking at. Yeah, but these are 29 knots, so they are about the same speed as my current generation of battle cruisers. So battleships can stay at 26, but battle cruisers must go up to 31. And that kind of implies that light cruisers can't dick around at 29 or 30. At least they must be comparable to future battle cruisers. And you can see the AI has just begun to build some really fast designs with 9 16-inch guns. So this is clearly the way to go. This one probably doesn't have too much armor, 2-inch belt now. It's not much. But there are a lot of older light cruisers that can sort of tangle with my old stuff. So it's not like my protected cruisers are completely outdated. Well, they are outdated, but the AI has a lot of outdated stuff as well. Look at these Davoots or whatever it's called. It's horrible. Even these guys are very bad. The US has quite a few 25 knot light cruisers, but they are also starting to build some fast ones. If you look at this one, it's 33 knots. Wow, it has very few guns and very little armor, but it's very fast. So, unfortunately, you cannot build light cruisers at 8,000 tons that are fast, well protected, and have firepower, so you sort of have to compromise there. But that's the context that we are building or designing our ships in. So let's take a break from this image and go back to PowerPoint. There we are again. Let's get building. Yeah. And we are diving straight in with the battleships. And this is the Huzan. You probably recognize the name because we had a BB 1923 Huzan. But that one had quad 16-inch guns, but we didn't have reliable quad turrets, so that's not happening. But we now have 18-inch guns. Those are quality -1, but 18-inch guns. They are very powerful. Immense hitting power. So by switching to triples, bumping the tonnage some, it's been 4 years, so oops. We were also able to keep the speed and increase, belt is the same, UNS, Universal Narrow Sloped. So we have 20 on the conning tower and turrets. 4 on the deck extended. That's the maximum I usually do with battleships, so we're never going higher than that. 7. And I switched to triples, so I have added back in some splinter protection. It's not splinter proof, but actually this will protect it from smaller guns. And a lot of splinter will be stopped as well. So it's decent enough. So it has 3 triple 18, 8 triple 6-inch. Not necessarily better than doubles, but we're Japan and we're allowed to have a little bit of design fun. And we have double 4-inch dual purpose. We have those torpedoes and move them back here. They were somewhere in this area by the 3rd turret. It looked very odd. And we now have a lot more light AA and some heavy, inefficient medium AA, but I just felt that it should have some. It also has advanced directors, of course, and a bunch of anti-air directors. So the main pro here, you can see the cost. It's quite expensive. It's 2 or 15,000 a month. So the pro is, of course, the 18-inch guns. That's the big draw. Cost high, but okay, yeah, whatever. Speed is okay for now, but it's not exactly future-proof. I also want to switch to diesels. I also want to have long range because it looks like we will be fighting either away from bases or just fighting in areas where we don't have enough base capacity. We are at super large plus. We need some long range ships, and the only long range ships thus far are some light carriers, and that's not good enough. I will assign them. And my plan is to build 4 when funds become available. They are not available right now. A more detailed view, you can see 40 heavy AA factor, 38 AA guns, TPS 3. This is a ship that can be with us for a long time, well into the modern era, I would say. And we go straight to the battle cruiser equivalent. That one retains the 16-inch triples. We bumped it slightly. At 62,000 I get this will be hard to build message, so I'm staying at 61.5. Up from 29 to 31. And we have considerably improved armor. UNS 14 and 18. And also the secondary guns, because we are going triples again, and yeah, the 4-inch, dual 4-inch, dual purpose, the torpedoes, and almost slightly fewer AA guns because it's lighter, so you can't fit quite as many. But you can see that I've chose a slightly different layout here with this little island and the rearboard facing turret. I just wanted to make them visually more distinct. And again, this is based on the 1923 model. I really like this design. It has armor, it has speed, it has 16-inch guns. And by armor, I mean it is at 10,000 to 15,000 yards. It's not immune to, but it is largely immune to 14-inch guns, and it can even deal with 15-inch guns to some extent. So it's, and my 16-inch guns will just slice straight through any battle cruiser and most battleships that are being built or will be built in the future. So, and 31 knots, and I really like this one, but it's extremely expensive, of course. There is a cost, is an aspect, and this one is also oil-fired, not diesel, and it has medium range. So, but it is a good ship. So I'm gonna build 2. That's 14 and some. And I'll order 2 more later for a race of 4. Here is the details, nothing advanced. You can look at it. So those are my capital ships. So priority on the battle cruisers. Now, I completely threw out the protected cruiser. And that wasn't working at all. So that's in the past. So now we have our first triple turret 6-inch. It's unfortunately just 8,000. So, but we have to start somewhere. That's all or nothing inclined. Inclined, I don't know. Maybe that's a waste of money, but I added it. DPS 2 should keep it afloat, even if it gets hit by a torpedo. That's 3 triple 6-inches, and we have decent fire control now, so that's good. TechBat is just a token anti-air battery to get just a little heavy AA, and we have a bunch of light AA. So it's not exactly a anti-air cruiser. So I'm gonna build 2 right away and 2 as soon as I have the funds. And here are the details. There are no mines. We have a token torpedo armament, mostly for the range band, but yeah. No, 31 knots. It's not fast, but it's not slow. It's just okay. At least you can keep pace with current battle cruisers and future battle cruisers. So yeah, not entirely happy, but I need to build something interim, and I was gonna build a protected cruiser as an interim solution, but I think this is more future-proof. Over to destroyers. We have a 2,000-ton destroyer, but this is where it gets expensive. This is important to remember. But we also have to talk about what it brings. So it's a 5-inch destroyer, but a fleet destroyer, so it gets the DD designation. This is a lot better than what I have. I'm building it at 35. That's faster than any other destroyer that I have, so it's kind of a waste, but it's also a kind of future-proofing mechanism. If I'm building 31 not battle cruisers, I need something that can at least keep pace with them. So it has 4 twin 5-inch turrets. My current most modern 1500 tonners, they have 3 5-inch guns. So this is more than a doubling. And a token secondary battery to get that 1 heavy AA rating, some light AA. But this is the key. 2 quad torpedo launchers with reloads. Now, I really like this design. You can see it's not exactly cheap. And I completely goofed up here because I probably just copied the cost time thingy. It should be 532 per month for how many months? 16. 532. And the total cost is not 32, it is it's 8.508. That's more like it. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just updating my presentation now. Yeah, so that's it. But I mean, building 6 is all more than 3,000 monies, so it's not they are no longer cheap and cheerful. Anyway, those are my 4 designs. I can't build all of it at the same time, and you probably noticed there are no carriers here because I couldn't build a full carrier that I liked, and I couldn't build a light carrier that I liked, and it's still 1927, and I had a little cry in the corner and decided that okay, let's focus on the surface combatant. I don't have money for everything anyway. So now back to this view. Yeah, so let's do the design thingy first. Load template and yeah, let's do the. Was it the He/She A? Yeah, I think it was the He/She A. Yes, it's the He/She A. Let's get that into Production 1 month. Yes, design ship. Graphics. DL27, and it was the B. And I'm calling it the toner because we had a previous toner that I quite liked that did some good service. So figured why not reuse that. Let's call it the toner 2. Oh, so lock is on. Save and finish. 2 months, that's perfect. And let's get our battle cruiser designed. BC 1927. The one. There it is in all its glory. And I don't know how on earth, why does it fucking do this? When I load the template, it duplicates the tertiary mounts. Yeah. They upgraded the engine and everything, and we have dark mode, and I really wish they would spend some time on actual quality of life improvement, actual stuff that gamers care about. I know they say they future-proofed the engine. I saw nothing that interested me or that looked any kind of better. So I'm not trying to be negative here, but still quite puzzled about that. Okay. After that little rant, we can, yes, we are definitely armoring that heavily. Now, we could also do the battleship, but we decided not to build the battleship anyway right away, so I don't think I want to do that. We now need to decide if we want to send something to the Southeast Asia region, so move division to Southeast Asia. We also move a battle reserve. We can give it a try. But instead we get this see what Devil has given us. Squad max. Yeah, it's a light cruiser, so definitely very unfair. We sank, he took light damage. Good enough for me. A marginal victory for him. Shiribeshi. Shikari. Easily surpassing its design speed. That will. The enemy has sent without border changing. We should not let them off lightly. I mean, if they had offered some compensation. Okay, a medium bomber. It has some improvement, and it remains good reliability, so it's not hopeless. It's just that we don't really need a medium bomber at the moment. We have sunk a sub. the British lose a corvette. Please, this is also what I'm talking about. Devs, do something about this. Just remove KEs from this AI battle. It's not fun. Yeah, we have raiders in Northeast Asia and the North American East Coast. This I find very peculiar. We have nothing in the North American East Coast. There is absolutely nothing that we could possibly accomplish by going there. But whatever. So we will go to the build screen, yes, and we can build 6, like we talked about. And we can study the map and see where did our Russian friends go. They most certainly did not remain in this area. How many ships do they have? 8 battleships, and I have 8 battleships. Okay, let's just hang out. I don't see any movement on the American side. No. Oh, did I save? Yes, I think I. No. 66 aircraft, mag box, belt deck. Yeah, basically similar to something I could have. Okay. I'm running out of corvettes. I think we need to make some new corvettes. Northeast Asia, North American. Tone, go to the build screen, and we will build 2 toners. Still no movement. No Americans in the Caribbean anymore. What's this stack here? It can be trade protection, maybe. I don't know. One more turn. Cruiser action, generate battle. Will they bite? No. Interested. I find this, again, I find this very peculiar. Why would my corvettes be searching for enemies? But okay. Again, it's a computer game, so. And we continue to get planes that are just worse than something that came out half a decade ago. So there is I mean, this is a B model, so but the speed is worse. Everything is just worse. This one is just absolutely horrible. So we can't catch a break. Clearly, the torpedo bomber keeps improving now. And so now the torpedo bomber has more firepower than the fighter. That's cute. No, it can do for some additional years. See, I only played for a few turns and I'm already annoyed. Oh, that's a good sign. And we will, for this umpteenth time, try for a firepower range fighter, and I have 0 hope. But, my God, it's pouring down outside. So, that is interesting, because now we must definitely consider scaling down our battleship engagements here, because we have so much. So this Karazawa. Where is it? Karazawa. Holy hell, it's raining. Yeah. That completely pointless. Long range diesels. Quite expensive though. I object to that. So this one is slightly less than 5,000. Long range. Oh, that's the long range. No. I mean, we can do oil turbine. How much is the extra speed there? Local only. Improved. Oh my God. Central firing. Feels kind of pointless. I know I don't have to do it like this, but I just feel like doing it. How much extra is this? So now we are at 7,000. Suddenly it's not so cheap after all. No. Let's not do that. Open design. Can definitely be a oil turbine design. No, it can be a coal turbine. No, that's no difference in cost. This is fine. I mean, it can definitely have better guns. Dual purpose guns. Doesn't need 6. Now 4 dual purpose. Auto placed. There you go. That's more like it. And it can have mines, mine sweeping gear, and full stuff. You can go 21 all torment. And it can have some AA guns. Muromaru. See Muromaru. Ship is overgunned. Fire control isn't. It can have a central firing. It's not so expensive. That's fine. 1 month. Let's do 1 more month here. Convoy attack. Now it declines. Heck, some Russians are losing battleships. British have done well. Northeast Asia, no. Southeast Asia. None of my battle cruisers do anything, so. Build a quad of those. Are they actually sailing into the Pacific to fight me? That would be grand, but probably they will only go to the west coast and then go back. But okay, let's not mothball or reserve anything. Let's just keep going. Let's see what happens. Submarines. Build sub. Cruiser action. No. Auto resolve. Surprise, surprise. That's what you get for tangling with battle cruisers that are faster than you. Improved oil burners. Better armor piercing. We like that. Fixed AA. Okay. Noto. Oh, now the British lose a battle cruiser against a light cruiser. Great Britain loses a dreadnought against a corvette. Again, this makes no sense. I wish they could just take out corvettes from this. Yeah, we can only afford 1. And they are now stuck on the west coast here, probably being horribly treated. Woohoo, how sad for you. Looking at the almanac, Russia keeps getting more and more budget. That goes without saying. Looks like the US too. Germany gets more money. They are not in a war, but they get more money. Great Britain can. I'm at a loss for words here. before, so I suppose we will have to accept and then just go home. Save that. We are locked in. Weather limits. That's just the mist. There is nothing unknown ship sighted. What time is it? It is early, very early in the morning, and so kind of crap do we have here? Just have one 8-inch, but I do have a decent-ish secondary battery. They aren't too bad. These are pretty good. 1,500 tons and 1,100 tons. So. Yeah, these are my good new oil-fired guys. This looks like a something. I mean, if I do stupid shit here and get torpedoes, don't judge me too harshly, because I have not really played in a long time. Weeks and weeks. And to this guy, it's just a turret jamming. Kind of funny that secondary batteries have such decent firing arcs and never jam, but main battery armament loves jamming. Not saying that main battery armament shouldn't jam. It's quite the opposite. Normal is so much slower than fast. Now my 1,500 tonners. See, they have 3 5-inch. It's such a huge difference from my future ships. Can go home. How is it possible to miss a almost dead light cruiser at point blank range? What are you doing, guys? Are you completely useless or what? Yes, we are, sir. Actually, Incompetent. I think that's enough. Even go down to cruise. Well, it's always good to think something. Oh, we got one light cruiser and his 3 destroyers for some very minor damage, so that's good. Well, I wouldn't call it a major victory. That's yeah, that's the first 2%er. Improved oil burners. Excellent, excellent. We already saved quite a few tons just because we got that one, so we can even squeeze in unit machinery. We could get spacious. So we have options now. Okay, that was nice. Well, they have moved into the west coast, so we are going to hold, see what happens, but I am fairly... Oh, we lost another sub. And Spanish rebellion in Cuba. Convoy attack declines, of course. Battleship decline. Finally, only the Navy can win this war. Lowers risks of landing accident, rebellion, British... Russia loses a destroyer and an AV. Okay. That actually helped a little bit, so let's see how much extra... yeah, they got more as well, so that it's good for us, but it's always good for the enemy. Obviously. Okay. Looks like they might try, actually. That would be very awesome. So let's see if they actually come over or if they... Estimated enemy force generate. Absolutely. Can save. So it's daytime, it's cloudy, there is a light breeze, and we have what kind of battle cruisers? Those are the fast ones with the 16-inch. This one has also 16-inch. And this one has, okay, 216, 114. That's extremely nice. I have 2 decent-ish. It's the same guys. Up front, I have my 1500 tonners as a screen here. And some 1100 tonners meaning here. That's pretty nice. So let's run until we... No and no. Yeah, the game does the scout planes dirty, but it's what it is. Let's go 29. Let's detach these and make them independent and line ahead and squad max and that way. And 5 minutes. Do we see? Oh, we have some And my... Where are you guys going? In classic style, they try to go elsewhere. That is, of course, these guys can be screening. Six-inch guns. These guys are decently fast as well. So we need to... That's a 16-inch hit. That against one of them. We have fired some torpedoes. Can fire more torpedoes. That's fine. Oh, the port, I think. So we are putting 16-inch into the medium damage. That's good. Doing a little bit of herding here. No. Six-inch, 16-inch, 6-inch. That's good. This one is heavily damaged and on fire. That's always nice. Not been too well for the Russians, I think. Let's curve these destroyers in just ever so slightly. Fourteen, 6-inch, probably no, 15 knots. So not doing too well, I would say. So they managed to just miss everything. course they do. This one down. Maybe I can hit some of my allies here. Been a while since I did that last. Fun little scenario. To all. Oh, no, you're not going out to sea again. Heading in this direction, my friend. This one can not recognize it's running aground. That's another thing in the code they could fix. Okay, that one got away. I lost nothing. Ship details. What kind of... decently fast 27 knot-ish 14-inch battleship. It's not a bad ship, it's just that its guns can't really hurt me and my weapons cut through his armor, so log entries, turret destroyed, turret disabled. Nothing to see here, guys. Exit battle, leave scenario, lots of points. It's a battle. Close. How many subs? Now they are in the Central Pacific. Okay, where do you want to go now? Yes, I could make a trust. There is just so little to be gained by it. They are allied to the Soviets, so it's actually better for them to hang out in Northeast Asia. So, not sure what the plan is here. I don't think they will come over because part of the stack is in the west here. Almanac, Russia. Still have quite a few ships, but a little bit scattered about. Want build ship. Kuma. No, 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 no. What? What? Was close. It's more like it. Yes, ready for another dysfunctional fighter. Again, border changes. And no, I mean, this is not worse. Kind of not worse. Well, let's do a naval patrol aircraft with range. You're hugely disappointed. Yeah, the Americans went home again. I don't know what kind of AI programming goes into it. See if that's a horrible idea or not. Oh, my 3 plus their 3 is 5 battle cruisers against what? Well. This will not go too well for you. I have wind, overcast, moderate breeze. No. No. It's fine. How long until dawn? Not very long. So basically just run then. Tsurugi. Evil people. And you hurt my little light cruiser. What the fuck? You very evil people, you. Oops, sinking. What's this? Does it have rudder damage or something? Just lost focus there. Oh, that was quick. Okay, I lost a destroyer and one of those very old light cruisers, and I got two of my precious battle cruisers torpedo. That was sad, but yeah. Another 14-inch ship bites the dust. Prestige. Yeah, this. So, fortunately, hopefully, we will get some sort of collapse soon. Damage control. Diesel engines for airships. More Corvette on Corvette action. And we are now in November. Ships in service. Will be mothballed. I have no use for those. Still, I'm in negative territory. Let's see how much money Russia is up. US is up. Germany, who isn't in a war, is up. Wow. Sub. Charger has been sunk. The first carrier to have been sunk. Lack of fuel. Blockade. Well, we had a couple of small skirmishers, but are they raiding at all? Russia? No, probably not. So I can take these two back to active. Division. I have 2 active battle divisions. I have 2 active battle cruiser divisions. That's more than enough. Huh? Okay. Quite tempting to actually mothball these as well, but that's probably going too far. Or is it? 4 battleships ready. Would change my income to something more agreeable, so let's postpone that one. One more turn. Marshall Islands, why? Where are the Marshall Islands? Completely. Okay, yeah, now we can build light cruisers with decent size. But of course, it's more costly, so there are pros and cons. Spain. Okay, so the US has a single seaplane guy in Northeast Asia. That's kind of. US lost Bunker Hill. Good for you. American East Coast. Yeah, that's fine. Wow, that was a year. Just theoretically, what can we do with 10,000 tons? We can we do actual armor? Yeah. Can do actual armor. Not saying I want to do this, I just want to check what I can and cannot do. So 8. Yeah, you can see there's a whole lot of things you can do once you could easily get it up to 32 as well, I would say. That's probably not needed for now. I mean, yeah. As you can see, this is a lot better, so I will not build any more 8,000 tonners, but it was I mean, it was fine. We can group them with these 10,000 tonners. Might also consider doing something entirely different and just embracing this. That's doable. Could do a... Yeah, so we can do a 15 gun ship on the same... and that is, of course, also quite interesting. Yeah, there are lots of options here. That is probably more interesting, actually. And I would have to search for a variant. Okay, but that's super interesting. I mean, 15-inch broadsides, a lot better than 9-inch broadsides. But the cost is higher, of course. We also need to do a new batch of destroyers. Could update the build, or we could just go ahead with it. We also need more of these big boys, but yeah. So options. Anyway, ta-da. And that concludes episode 55. No big surprises, really. None at all. US don't want to fight, the Russians can't fight, so the months just keep on chugging away. But we do need to consider what kind of force strength we want to maintain, because we cannot scale back completely in the face of a huge US Navy. On the other hand, I would guess that the Russians will collapse sooner rather than later, so this war isn't going to last forever. So we'll just have to make the best out of it and hope we get a good chunk of war reparations and maybe some territories, because when a nation collapses, there is a decent chance you get a huge amount of points. So anyway, thanks for watching and see you again soon.